This video took 400 hours to produce, with a total length of 25 minutes. From the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors to the founding of New China, we will carefully sort out the 5,000-year history of China, taking you through the entire history of China in one go. 1.7 million years ago, the Yuanmu man in Yunnan had already learned hunting and gathering. They were the earliest people found in China. Time passed by. Years flew like a shuttle. From Lantian in Shaanxi to Zhaokudian in Beijing. From the Yellow River Basin to the Yangtze River Basin. The ancestors of Huaxia kept groping forward in the darkness until the appearance of Xi'an, who lit the first fire of Chinese civilization, allowing our ancestors to completely escape the era of eating raw flesh and drinking blood. From then on, the flame of Huaxia civilization burned unceasingly through endless generations. 5,000 years ago, the Yellow Emperor allied with the Flame Emperor and defeated Qiyu at Jiulu, marking the birth of a unified Huaxia civilization. From then on, we could proudly call ourselves the descendants of Yan and Huang. In the centuries that followed, the position of tribal leader was held by the most capable. Yao passed it to Shan, and Shan passed it to Yu. During Yu's time, great floods ravaged the land, forcing people to flee everywhere, with no home to return to. In the face of floods, Westerners chose to rely on divine help, building Noah's Ark for survival. But the Chinese chose to confront fate directly, with Yu the Great controlling the floods. 13 years passed in hardship. Yu passed his own home 3 times, but never entered. He led the people to dig through Longmen and dredge the 9 provinces, diverting floodwaters eastward into the sea, finally succeeding in flood control. Because of his great achievement, Emperor Shan yielded the throne to Yu. About 4,000 years ago, Yu convened a meeting of feudal lords at Mount Tiyu, where all nations presented tribute. This marked the beginning of China's first slave dynasty, the Xi'an Dynasty. After Yu's death, his son Che broke the tradition of abdication, and Chinese history entered the era of hereditary rule. After Qi's death, Taikang lost the kingdom, and Houyi took over, bringing the Xi'an Dynasty into 40 years of decline under the rule of Wu, until Shao Kong restored order by defeating Han Zhuo and reviving the Xi'an Dynasty, passing into the reign of Kongjia. Kongjia was obsessed with ghosts and spirits, indulging in debauchery, causing unrest among the nobles. From then on, the Xia dynasty began to decline. When the last ruler, Yav Xia, reigned, he built extravagant palaces and indulged himself in luxury at Jade Terrace, causing the people to live in misery. At this time, the Shang tribe in the east rose to power. With the help of Yi Yin, the Shang leader Tang launched a series of campaigns and became invincible. In the Battle of Mingshao, Tang destroyed the Xia dynasty and established the Shang dynasty, thus achieving the first dynastic change in Chinese history. A true transfer of rule. After Tang's death, his sons succeeded him one after another, forming the Shang dynasties, unique system of hereditary succession. But this also planted the seeds of turmoil for later Shang rulers. After the turmoil during Zhu Yi's reign, King Pan Zheng came to power in order to consolidate royal authority and restore the Shang dynasty. He moved the capital to Yin. Since then, later generations often called the Shang Yin Shang, or simply the Yin dynasty. During the reign of King Wu Ding, the Shang dynasty reached its peak. The oracle bone inscriptions unearthed at Yingsu, Henan, mostly came from this period. However, after Wu Ding, his successors all grew up in luxury and ease, ignorant of the hardships of governance, and spent their days in drinking and pleasure, causing the decline of the Shang state. By the time of the last ruler, King Zhou of Shang, he was utterly debauched and imposed heavy taxes and cruel laws, leading many feudal lords to rebel. At this time, the Zhou tribe in the Wei River Valley began to rise. In the era of Ji Chang, the Zhou people already had ambitions to replace the Shang. When the teaching spread and inspired, the Zhou already controlled 2/3 of the realm. They formed a dominant position over the Shang dynasty. In the Battle of Mai, King Zhou of Shang set himself on fire in Kayaj. The Shang dynasty perished. King Wu, Ji Fa, established the Zhou dynasty, an 800-year foundation, because its capital was set in Heojing. Later generations called it the Western Zhou. After the Western Zhou was founded, rewards were distributed for merit. Lords were granted fiefs. The realm was pacified. After King Wu of Zhou died, King Cheng was still young. His uncles Guan and Sai took the chance to rebel. This became known as the Rebellion of the Three Guards. Afterwards, the Duke of Zhou led troops on an eastern campaign, quelling the great chaos. The Zhou dynasty entered a stable period of development. By the time of King Cheng and King Kong, the Zhou reached its peak strength. The realm was peaceful. For over 40 years, punishments were not needed. 100 years later, King Li of Zhou enforced monopolies, causing uprisings among the people. The Zhou dynasty faced a crisis of rule. After the regency of the Republic, King Xuan of Zhou took the throne. though King Xi'an had loyal intentions. He only slightly improved state affairs. But when his son King Yu of Zhou succeeded, he was lustful by nature, favoring the beauty Bao Si. He deposed the crown prince to win a smile from Bao Si. He lit the beacon towers to fool the lords. The Marquis of Shen allied with the Quanrong tribes and invaded Heojing. The Western Zhou collapsed. In 770 BC, King Ping of Zhou moved east to Luoy. The Eastern Zhou period began. Later generations usually divided the Eastern Zhou, its first half as the Spring and Autumn period, and the latter half as the Warring States period. During the Eastern Zhou, the royal house declined, and power shifted to the feudal lords. The states constantly waged wars against each other. In the early Spring and Autumn period, Duke Zhuang of Zheng rose as a minor hegemon among lords, ushering in the Age of Spring and Autumn hegemony. Later, with Guanzhong's assistance, Duke Huan of Che convened the lords, uniting the realm, and became the first hegemon of the Spring and Autumn era. After Duke Huan of Che died, Duke Xiang of Song attempted to claim hegemony, but in the Battle of Hongshui, he was utterly defeated by Chu, losing helmets and armor. Not long after, Duke Wen of Jin, who had wandered among lords for over 20 years, returned to his state and took the throne. In the Battle of Changpu, he ordered his troops to retreat 3 camps, and then crush the Chu army. Thus, Duke Wen of Jin became the second hegemon of the Spring and Autumn era. After Jin rose to power, Chu refused to submit. The two states then engaged in a struggle for hegemony lasting over 80 years. During this period, Duke Mu of Qin governed diligently. He conquered more than 20 states and gained prestige as a hegemon. Later, when King Zhuang of Chu ascended the throne, he astounded the world and sought supremacy in the Central Plains. After the Battle of Bai, Chu temporarily surpassed Jin in strength. But Jin was unwilling to give up the hegemon seat. The two states fought repeatedly over control of Zheng and Song. Finally, with Song's mediation, Timi-Bai alliances were held, ending the long Jin-Chu rivalry. After the Central Plain stabilized, the southeastern state of Wu began its bid for supremacy. Taking advantage of Chu's internal strife and external threats, King Helu of Wu, with Wu Zixu, and the strategist Sun Wu attacked Ying, Chu's capital, and nearly destroyed the state of Chu. Later, Wu and Yue fought for dominance. King Gujian of Yue endured years of hardship and finally destroyed Wu. Becoming master of the southeast, he became the last hegemon of the Spring and Autumn period. In the late Spring and Autumn era, Jin was constantly weakened by noble clan struggles. Royal power declined, talents were destroyed. Eventually Han, Zhao, and Wei divided Jin among themselves. Thus Chinese history entered the more brutal Warring States period. During the Warring States, Han, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, Che, and Qin formed the 7 major states. Wei was the first to reform and grow strong, seeking to annex the 3 Jin. But after the Battle of Meiling, its national strength sharply declined. From then on, Wei became a second-rate state. Meanwhile, after Xiangyang's reforms, Qin grew ever stronger. Through rulers like Du Kuwen, King Wu, and King Zhaoxiang, Qin rose relentlessly. After the Battle of Changping, the 6 states of Shandong could no longer stop Qin's march toward unification. Soon after quelling the rebellion of Liu Ai, King Yingzheng of Qin launched a 10-year conquest. He successively annexed Han, Zhao, Wei, Chu, Yan, and Che, the 6 states, establishing the first centralized, unified empire in Chinese history, the Qin Empire. Yingzheng declared himself the first emperor of Qin. After the Qin dynasty was founded, he abolished feudal fiefs and instituted commanderies. He standardized writing and measurements. For the first time, China achieved unity, both geographically and culturally. Finally, Qin Shi Huang struck north against the Xiongnu and campaigned south against Baiyu, laying the foundation of China's territorial shape. But after the conspiracy at Shakyu, when Qin Shi seized the throne, the Qin dynasty began its downfall. In the first year of Shi's reign, Chen Sheng and Wu Guang raised the banner at Dezexie, shouting, "Are kings and nobles born different?" The Great Peasant Uprising at the end of Qin broke out. By 207 BCE, the Qin dynasty collapsed after only 2 emperors. China entered the era of Chu-Han contention. Eventually, Xiongnu, the Hegeman king of Western Chu, perished at Wu River, and Liu Bang established the Great Han Dynasty lasting for 100 years, as its capital was at Chang'an. Later generations called it the Western Han. In the early Western Han, adopted the policy of recuperation and recovery, to let the nation rest and rebuild. The national power quickly recovered. Although Empress La held power, and the rebellion of the kings had its effects, the country largely remained stable. After Emperor Wu of Han took the throne, he strengthened imperial authority internally, and weakened the power of the vassal kings. Externally, he greatly expanded by waging campaigns against the Xiongnu, Korea, and various states, and the western regions, greatly expanding the territory of the Han Dynasty, and strengthening China's power for millennia. By the reigns of Emperors Zhao and Zhuan, the western regions had been incorporated into Han territory. The empire reached its peak. This is known as the rule of Zhao and Zhuan. Yet, at the height of prosperity comes decline. After Emperor Yuan of Han, imperial authority waned, with outsiders gaining influence, and the court grew increasingly corrupt. In 08 CE, the regent Wang Mang declared himself emperor and changed the dynasty's name to Din. Thus the Western Han perished. After the Din dynasty was established, Wang Mang carried out radical reforms, which aroused widespread resentment, leading to the Red Eyebrows and the Lulin uprisings one after another. In the Battle of Kunyang, the main forces of the Din army were destroyed. Shortly after, the Red Eyebrow army captured Chang'an, and the Din dynasty collapsed. Amidst the chaos, a member of the imperial clan, Liu Shan, rose to power and proclaimed himself emperor in Hebei, restoring the dynasty under the name Han. he soon pacified the entire realm. Since he established the capital in Luoyang, posterity calls it the Eastern Han. By the reigns of emperors Ming and Zhang, the Eastern Han reached its peak, known in history as the rule of Ming and Zhang. But from Emperor He of Han onward, empresses and consorts held court, and relatives interfered in politics. Imperial power declined. By the reigns of Emperor Xuan and Ling, the rulers were incompetent and corrupt. The court was on the verge of collapse, and the people suffered greatly. After the partisan prohibitions, the government became more corrupt, with eunuchs seizing power, eventually leading to the Yellow Turban Rebellion, and chaos engulfed the realm. Soon after, Dong Zhuo seized Emperor Xi'an and moved the capital to Chang'an. From then on, the imperial court lost control, and warlords rose up everywhere. After Dong Zhuo's death, Cao Cao controlled the emperor and commanded the lords, gradually unifying northern China. After the Battle of Red Cliffs, the tripartite balance of power was established. In 220 CE, Cao Pi forced Emperor Xian to abdicate and establish the state of Wei. Soon after, Liu Bei established the Shu Han regime in Chengdu, while Sun Quan founded the Wu regime in the southeast. Thus began the Three Kingdoms period. In the early Three Kingdoms, Zhuge Liang of Shu Han launched multiple northern expeditions, always taking the offensive. But after Zhuge Liang's death, Shu Han steadily declined. After the incident at Gaoping Tombs, the power of Wei fell into the hands of the Sima clan. Once in control, the Sima family began their wars to unify the realm. In 263 CE, Wei launched a three-pronged attack to conquer Shu. Shu's last ruler, Liu Shan, surrendered. Later Emperor Liu Shan surrendered. The Shu Han perished. 3 years later, Sima Yan forced Emperor Cao Huan to abdicate. The state of Cao Wei perished. Sima Yan, Emperor Wu of Jin, founded the Jin dynasty. History calls it the Western Jin, taking advantage of internal turmoil in Eastern Wu. The Western Jin launched a massive attack. By the year 280 AD, the Three Kingdoms all submitted to Jin. China was unified. In the early Western Jin, Sima Yan governed diligently and pushed for reforms, ushering in a brief era of prosperity, known as the Ta Kong era. But soon, Jia Nanfeng monopolized power, causing discontent at court. This sparked the War of the Eight Princes. The empire was gravely weakened. After the outbreak of civil war, northern nomadic tribes seized the opportunity to rebel. History calls this the Five Barbarians Invasion. In the year 316 AD, Chang'an fell. The Western Jin perished. Northern China entered a century-long era of turmoil, known as the 16 Kingdoms of the Five Barbarians. As the north fell behind, the Jin court retreated southward, settling in the southeast, and established the Eastern Jin regime. After the disaster of Yongjia, the Eastern Jin launched several northern expeditions, attempting to recover the central plains, but internal discord led to repeated failures. In 383, after former Qin unified the north, It marched south with 800,000 troops to destroy Jin. But at the Battle of Fei River, the Eastern Jin triumphed against overwhelming odds. Former Qin suffered a crushing defeat. From then on, China entered a period of division between North and South. After the rebellion of Huanzhuan, Liu Yu gradually seized power. In the year 420 AD, Liu Yu forced Emperor Gong of Jin to abdicate and founded the Liu Song dynasty. The Eastern Jin perished. In the later Liu Song period, political turmoil arose, and foolish rulers appeared. In 479, Zidao Sheng forced Emperor Shun of Song to abdicate and established the Che dynasty, known in history as the Southern Che. After a brief Yongming era of good governance, the Che soon followed the old path of Liu Song. In 502, taking advantage of internal strife, Xi'an seized the throne by force and founded the Liang dynasty, known as the Southern Liang. After the Ho Jing rebellion, the Liang state was gravely weakened. In 557, Chen Baxian deposed Emperor Jing of Liang, Zifangyi, and proclaimed himself emperor, establishing the Chen dynasty, the last dynasty of the southern dynasties. While southern regimes changed frequently, the north of China also underwent great upheaval. After former Qin's defeat at Fei River, the north once again fell into fragmentation, with warlords vying for supremacy. The Xi'an clan established Northern Wei and rose to power. Gradually, they unified northern China. After Emperor Xiao Awen's reforms, Northern Wei flourished for a time, but the Sixth Garrison Uprising broke out, causing Northern Wei to decline from prosperity. It then split into Eastern Wei and Western Wei. Soon after, Eastern Wei was replaced by Northern Che, and Western Wei was replaced by Northern Zhou. In 577, Northern Zhou destroyed Northern Che, once again unifying northern China. Just as Northern Zhou sought to reunify all of China, its emperor, Wu of Zhou, suddenly died at only 35. His son-in-law, Yang Jian, soon stepped onto the stage of history. In 581, Yang Jian forced the abdication of the Northern Zhou ruler. Northern Zhou perished. Yang Jian founded the Suzai dynasty. He then sent his army southward. By 590, China was reunified. This ended more than 300 years of great division. During Emperor Wen of Suai's reign, he practiced frugality, reformed politics, and developed the economy. The Suzai dynasty entered the prosperous Kaihuang era. But after Emperor Yang succeeded, he became greedy for achievements, seeking only fame and fortune. He built the Grand Canal to connect to the eastern capital, and launched 3 campaigns against Goguryeo. As a result, the people suffered terribly. Eventually, large-scale peasant uprisings broke out. In this time of chaos, Li Yuan, Duke of Tang, rose in rebellion at Jinyang. He vied for control of the realm. In 618, Liu Shan proclaimed himself emperor in Chang'an, founding the Tang dynasty. He then pacified the land and unified the country. After the Xi'an Incident, Li Shimin forced Emperor Gaozu, Liu Shan, to abdicate and ascended the throne, becoming Emperor Taizong of Tang. During Taizong's reign, he excelled in governance and military affairs. Society was stable, and the nation grew strong. Neighboring states revered him as the Heavenly Khan. By the reign of Emperor Gaozong, the Tang dynasty reached its peak in foreign wars. After Gaozong's death, Empress Wu Zetian took power. In 690, Wu Zetian changed the dynasty's name to Zhou. History calls it the Wuzhou. She also became the only woman emperor in Chinese history. After the Shenlong coup, Wu Zetian was forced to step down. Emperor Zhongzong, Li Shan, was restored. Not long after, Empress Wei sought to become another Wu Zetian. She poisoned Emperor Zhongzong. Prince of Linzi, Li Longji, launched the Tanglong coup, eliminated Empress Wei's faction. Only then was the court stabilized. By the time of Emperor Xuanzong, Li Longji, the Kaiyuan Golden Age, the nation was prosperous and strong. The Tang dynasty reached its peak. But the Lushan rebellion that followed drove the Tang dynasty into decline. From then on, the warlords controlled their own territories, becoming an incurable problem. Apart from that, in the later Tang period, there was eunuch interference in politics, factional strife never ceased, and external threats from Tibet. Later emperors, even if some attempted to revive the dynasty, few were truly successful. The Tang dynasty could never return to its former glory. After the Huangqiao rebellion, the warlord Zhu Wen rose to power. In 907, Zhu Wen forced the abdication of the last Tang emperor and established the later Liang dynasty. Chinese history entered the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms period. In 923, Li Kongsu declared himself emperor in Weizhou, restored the Tang title, known as the later Tang. In 936, Shi Jingtang established the later Jin regime. In the end, he colluded with the Khitans and ceded the 16 prefectures of Yan and Yun, leaving northern China without natural defenses. In 947, the Khitan army marched into Kaifeng, and the later Jin perished. During the ensuing chaos in the Central Plains, Liu Jiuan seized the chance and declared himself emperor in Taiyuan, founding the later Han regime. In 951, a military mutiny overthrew the later Han and established the later Zhou regime. After Guo Wei's death, his son-in-law Chairong succeeded him, just when Chairong was about to pacify the realm. Fate gave him little time. He died young. In 960 AD, later Zhou general Zhao Quangyin launched the Chenqiao Mutiny, forcing the abdication of the later Zhou emperor and founding the Song dynasty, known as the Northern Song. After the founding of the Northern Song, they waged continual wars, eventually pacifying the land. After the wine cup curbing the military, the Northern Song's strength and central authority, avoiding the warlord divisions that plagued the late Tang. But this also laid the seeds for later military weakness and defeats in external wars. After Taizu's death, his younger brother Zhao Guanji Song Taizong succeeded to recover the 16 prefectures of Yan and Yun in the north. From Song Taizong onwards, the Northern Song fought multiple wars with the Liao dynasty, but none succeeded. In 1004, the Song and Liao signed the Treaty of Chanyuan. From then on, both sides entered a century of peace. After Wang Anqi's reforms, the Northern Song reached its peak during Emperor Shenzong's reign. But in later wars with Western Xia, they suffered repeated defeats. The Northern Song declined. By Emperor Hezong's reign, the dynasty was at its weakest. Uprisings led by Song Zhong and Fang La dealt further blows to Northern Song rule. While internal troubles persisted, external threats also loomed. The Liao dynasty, ruling northern China, had long oppressed neighboring peoples. The Jurchens in the northeast decided to no longer endure Khitan oppression. In 1115 AD, Wanyan Aguda, in today's Harbin region, founded the Jin dynasty and then marched south to attack the Liao dynasty. By 1125, the Jin had destroyed the Liao. The Khitan fled west and founded the Western Liao. After destroying the Liao, the Jin continued south to invade the Song. In 1127 AD, the Xi'an Incident occurred. Emperors Hizong and Qinzong were captured. The Northern Song collapsed. That same year, Hizong's son Zhaogu declared himself emperor in Yingshan Prefecture, establishing the Southern Song dynasty. After its founding, the Southern Song launched several northern expeditions, attempting to recover the Central Plains, but all failed. While the Southern Song remained in relative peace, northern China once again underwent drastic change. In the early 13th century, Temujin, chieftain of the Mongol tribes, gradually unified the Mongolian plateau. In 1206, Temujin proclaimed himself Genghis Khan of the Mongol Empire and founded the Mongol Empire, which then began large-scale expansion. One after another, it destroyed Western Liao, Western Xia, Karakatai, and others. In 1234, the Mongols allied to destroy the Jin dynasty. In 1234, the Mongol-Song alliance destroyed the Jin dynasty. Afterwards, the Southern Song declined. Between the Mongols and the Song, a war lasting half a century broke out again. In 1276, the capital of the Southern Song, Linan, fell. The reinforcements retreated southward. At the Battle of Yashan, the Song army was defeated. Prime Minister Liu Shan held the 8-year-old Emperor Zhaobing and leapt into the sea to die. The southern Song perished. The Yuan dynasty unified China. After destroying the Song, the Yuan continued expanding outward. They waged war against Annam, Java, and Japan, but all ended in failure. Years of war drained the Yuan treasury. Heavy taxes were continuously imposed, leading to constant peasant uprisings. By the mid-late Yuan period, succession to the throne was chaotic. Coups were frequent, and rule was dark and oppressive. Ethnic and class conflicts intensified. Eventually, a massive peasant uprising erupted. Amidst the chaos, Zhu Yuanzhang, a commoner by birth, rose to power. He defeated Chen Yuliang, Zhang Shicheng, and other rivals. In 1368 AD, Zhu Yuanzhang declared himself emperor in Yingshan, establishing the Ming dynasty. The Ming army then launched a northern expedition, driving out the Yuan and restoring Chinese rule. The Mongols retreated to the steppe. The Ming dynasty unified the country. After the prosperous Hongwu reign and the Yongle Golden Age, the Ming reached the peak of its power. But the Tumu crisis that followed marked the beginning of decline. By the mid-late Ming period, eunuchs meddled in politics. Factional strife was constant, and uprisings frequently occurred. The Ming rule became increasingly unstable. In 1616, Narachi, leader of the Jianzhou Jurchens, established the later Jin regime in the northeast, constantly raiding Ming borders. At the same time, internal corruption and incompetence plagued the Ming dynasty. Natural disasters struck repeatedly. This triggered peasant uprisings in the late Ming period. Finally, in 1644, rebel leader Li Zikang entered Beijing. The Chongzhen emperor hanged himself at Coal Hill. The Ming dynasty perished. Soon after, Wu Songui led the Qing army through the passes. The Qing forces marched southward. They destroyed Li Zikang's troops, the forces of Zhang Xianzhang, and the southern Ming regime. Eventually, they unified the country. After the reigns of Kangxi, Yang Zheng, and Qianlong, the Qing dynasty reached its peak. During this period, Chinese society also reached its zenith. But soon after, the West began the Industrial Revolution. They expanded globally. The West quickly surpassed China in all respects. In 1840, after defeat in the Opium War, China became a semi-colonial, semi-feudal society. Afterwards came the Taiping Rebellion, the Second Opium War, the First Sino-Japanese War, and the invasion by the Eight-Nation Alliance, all of which pushed the Qing rule to the brink of collapse. After the 100 Days Reform, revolutionaries clearly realized the Qing dynasty could no longer save itself. To rescue the fate of the Chinese nation, they launched revolutions one after another. aiming to overthrow Qing rule. In 1911, the Xinhai Revolution broke out. Revolutionaries established the Provisional Government of the Republic of China in Nanjing. Representatives of various provinces elected Sun Yat-sen as provisional president. The following year, Yuan Shikai forced Emperor Pui to abdicate. The Qing dynasty fell. China entered the era of the Republic of China. Soon after, Yuan Shikai usurped the fruits of revolution. The Republic entered the era of Beiyang warlord rule. Period. In 1913, Yuan Shikai prepared for civil war. Intending to eliminate revolutionary forces in the south, Sun Yat-sen returned from Japan. He organized armed resistance. The Second Revolution broke out, but it was quickly suppressed by Yuan Shikai. In 1915, Yuan Shikai attempted to proclaim himself emperor. The national protection movement erupted. Yuan was forced to abandon the throne. He died in despair. After Yuan's death, warlord Zhang marched into Beijing under the pretext of mediation and supported Puyi's restoration. This became known as Zhang Zun's restoration, but the farce lasted only 12 days. In 1919, after World War I ended, the great powers divided the spoils at Paris. Although China was among the victors, Shandong was to be given to Japan. This sparked nationwide outrage. The May 4th movement broke out. In 1921, the Communist Party of China was founded. Soon after, the CPC and the Kuomintang cooperated. The United Front was formed. But after the Northern Expedition victory, the Kuomintang seized power. The first CPC-KMT cooperation collapsed. In 1927, uprisings broke out in Nanchang and the Autumn Harvest, and in Guangzhou. The Communists pioneered a path of encircling the cities from the countryside and seizing power through armed struggle. In 1928, the National Revolutionary Army entered Beijing. That same year, with the unification of the Northeast, the Republic of China entered the Nanjing Nationalist Government period. Government rule period. In 1931, the September 18th incident broke out. The War of Resistance against Japan began, facing Japanese imperialist aggression. Chiang Kai-shek insisted on internal pacification before external resistance. In 1936, the Xi'an Incident broke out. Chiang Kai-shek was forced to cooperate with the Communist Party. The anti-Japanese National United Front was formed. In 1937, the Marco Polo Bridge incident erupted. The full-scale war of resistance against Japan began. China entered the arduous 8-year War of Resistance. By 1945, the United States and the Soviet Union declared war on Japan, one after another. Japan was forced to surrender unconditionally. China achieved a complete victory in the War of Resistance. After the victory, Chiang Kai-shek's government, for the sake of dictatorship, recklessly tore up agreements and openly attacked the liberated areas. The full-scale civil war broke out. After the Liu Shan campaign, the Pingjin and Huaihai campaigns, and the Crossing the Yangtze campaign, the Communist Party gradually unified the whole country. Chiang Kai-shek retreated to Taiwan. On October 1, 1949, Chairman Mao Zedong stood atop Tiananmen in Beijing and solemnly declared, "The People's Republic of China has been founded." From that day on, thousands of years of feudal autocracy came to an end. Imperialism ended its century-long aggression against China. The oppression of bureaucratic capitalism and the enslavement of the Chinese people also ended. The Chinese people, accounting for 1/4 of the world's population, have from then on stood up